Back in 2022, the global pandemic hit and everyone feared for their lives and jobs as the market collapsed. And despite the chaos and uncertainty, just a few months later, we witnessed a massive crypto rally. Why? Because no matter what is happening in the world, Bitcoin halving happens like clockwork every 4 years, driving the market cycle forward. And guess what? In 2024, we have just had another Bitcoin halving. So despite that people are talking about World War III, recession, riots in the UK and economic collapse, we are on the brink of another market explosion. And stay with me because understanding these market cycles driven by Bitcoin's halving could be your key to the financial freedom despite what kind of chaos is happening around the world. And first let me explain what Bitcoin halving actually is and why it happens every 4 years. So Bitcoin halving is essentially just halving of the reward per mined block. Around every 10 minutes, another block on Bitcoin is mined, and the miners are rewarded in Bitcoin for processing the transactions. And this mechanism was put in place to fight the inflation because Bitcoin has fixed supply of 21 million and you cannot produce more Bitcoin. So the only way to make sure that the price won't get inflated is to reduce the supply that is given to the market over time. Because in comparison to regular fiat like USD, you can just go and print more money, and with Bitcoin it's impossible. And we all know what printing additional money does to the economy. Inflation rises, prices rise, and everybody is unhappy. And this can't happen with Bitcoin. And the block rewards will get halved every 4 years until we eventually reach zero, which will be in about 100 years, so we shouldn't really care about that. And the most important thing that we have to know that after every halving, we have around 6 months of Bitcoin price going sideways, so there's not much action of going up or down, and then we have a massive rally. And as you can see on the historic charts, and obviously everything is based on the previous historical data, however, after every halving so far, we had exactly the same situation. It doesn't matter if we are looking at 2012 or 2016 or 2020, every single time the situation was very similar. So let me show you another chart. I marked here the historic halvings, and let's take a look at year 2020 because probably everyone still remembers the lockdowns, the fears that happened when the lockdown started, and this giant market crash in March 2020. Everybody was thinking that economy is going to collapse totally. Stocks were extremely cheap at that time, and I wish I bought them back in the day, but obviously everyone was so scared that everybody started selling immediately. But it didn't really matter what was happening on the market because Bitcoin did a halving as always after mining 210,000 blocks or around 4 years. And as you can see on historic chart, we had not too much happening in the first 150-160 days, which is around 4 months, and then we had a massive rally. And let me show you over 4x in 180 days. That's crazy. And this situation was pretty much the same back in 2016. After halving, nothing really happened for the first few months. Once again, around 5-6 months, nothing. And then we get a massive rally and then 2,500% increase. And just by looking at the historic data, we can see where we are in the current halving. As you can see, the last halving happened on 20th of April 2024, and today is 13th of August, so we are about 120 days since halving, and as we saw previously, at around 150 days, which is 5 to 6 months, we get this sideways action, and then we go onto a massive rally. I don't know how high can we go with Bitcoin this time around, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to be at least 2x on the bearish side of things, so at least $120,000 is probably a safe bet. And obviously there are people who praise that we can get to even $500,000, but I want to be more conservative with price. We'll see what is going to happen. We still have a lot of more bullish news that are going to happen, because this year we have US presidential elections, and Donald Trump at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville spoke in favor of Bitcoin, and basically he's very pro crypto because he wants to win in these elections, obviously. And this event is going to happen on 5th of November, which is about 6 months from the halving. And as we saw previously, after 6 months from the halving, we get a massive rally. So in my opinion, it's going to be the same, despite of some people on Twitter and overall in the internet are saying that it's going to crash completely, because we had some very interesting events like Germany selling all of their Bitcoin. We had a crash of over 25% in less than a week, a few days ago. But despite all of that, all you have to do is look at the charts and follow the halving, because historically every single time the same story happens. We get a halving, 6 months of going sideways, and then a massive rally. This entire bull market is going to last for about 12-18 months since the halving. And we are already in the bull run, as you can see just by looking at the historical data. However, most of the people who are going to jump onto this huge rally are going to be what we call retail investors, which are people who are looking in the news. They got information that Bitcoin just broke new all-time high, that we are going to the moon, and then they will invest, which will be probably around somewhere in this area. And obviously, by the time the retail investors are going into crypto, smart people who actually know how this works are starting to get out. And this is why a lot of people who got into crypto because they got FOMO from all the news that Bitcoin just achieved new all-time high are getting wrecked. And people who were actually smart and started accumulating before the halvings, when the price was really cheap, like for example, if you bought at the biggest dip of the previous bear market, you could make 4x on your money just by buying Bitcoin when it was low. So once again, we are going to see this shift of wealth, where retail investors will provide exit liquidity for people who accumulated Bitcoin sooner. And how can you actually profit from this whole bull market cycle that we are currently in? Obviously, you cannot count that we will go to these discounts anytime soon. However, we are still before the major rally. So you still have a few weeks or months, depending on how the cycle will go, to accumulate some crypto. And obviously, it's not a financial advice. However, the historical data shows that we are just a few weeks or few months from another massive rally. And considering that a lot of investors are predicting that this cycle is going to be the biggest market cycle we ever seen, it's safe to assume that even if you bought a few $100s worth of crypto in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, or anything, you could make some money back from it. So obviously, do your own research. However, just by looking at this historic data, it's safe to assume that it's still not too late to invest, and don't get caught up in all of this FOMO with World War III, the UK riots, the European migration crisis that's going on right now, because it's irrelevant to what Bitcoin does every 4 years, because every single time the same thing happens. It doesn't matter if we look at 2020, 2016, or even 2012. Exactly the same pattern is happening every 4 years, and I strongly believe that we will see the exact same thing in 2024. So if you want to actually get rich this bull run or any next bull run, you have to look at the Bitcoin chart. That's basically it. You don't even have to stare at the charts all day, every day. Just DCA into Bitcoin when we are in the bear market, where everything is on a nice discount, and cash out after the halving. And that's it. And obviously, once again, nothing in this video was a financial advice. And if you like the content you are seeing right now, consider leaving a like and subscribing to my channel for future videos. That would be it for this video. Thank you for watching. Peace.